If you're a high school recruit and you have game film, but you're still not getting the college offers and the interest that you know you deserve, then this video is exactly for you. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to explain why you're probably watching film completely wrong and how the way that you're watching film may be the root cause of why you're not seeing improvement the way you want. And I'm going to give you the 3 steps that I teach guys that I work with on how to properly watch film so you can change your game without even touching a ball. First of all, if you have game film, then you're sitting on a luxury of 90 minutes of data that you can use. And in a little bit, I'll get to why you're probably using this completely wrong, because I played 5,000 minutes at the Division I level. And if I'm being fully transparent, I didn't fully realize how to watch film until going into my final year in college. But this 3-step process of watching film unlocked so many parts of my game when I wasn't even able to touch a ball. When you have game film, you get to see the truth exposed. When you watch your game film, there's no hiding from the truth. You can see whether you played well in certain areas, and you can see some areas where you might have hurt your team. And while I say that you can't hide from it, the truth is some guys still do, and I'll get to that in a second. The second benefit of having all this data of film is that you get to notice patterns, because the game of soccer isn't binary. You don't get the ball here and always do this, or every time I receive the ball from my center back, I always play this way. It's just not how it works. When you watch your film, you get to see your tendencies, you get to notice your patterns, and that's where you really develop as a player, not these little micromanaged switches that you think will fix your game. The next benefit is you get to see a bigger picture version of the game, not the one where you're just sitting there on the field playing. You may notice you watch your game film back and you get to realize how much time you really have on the ball, or how many decisions you actually do make correct. And overall, you get to see this bigger picture tactical outlook on the game. And in a little bit, I'll show you how to actually maximize this. But the important thing is realizing how much data you really have right in front of you. Because I'm sure you understand, to get to the next level, it's not just what you do with the ball, but how you fit into the bigger picture system, which is what you get to see when you get to watch the whole game back. So now you know how important it is. Let me give you the 3-step process on how to make the most out of the film that you have. The first step is to uncover the worms. See, most guys, they make the crucial mistake of just watching games back for their highlights. They want to go back, screen record their best clips, and post it to their Instagram with music behind it, which is cool, but that's not really getting you better as a player. And what do I mean by uncovering the worms? Well, it's lifting the rock when you know that there's probably something under there you don't want to see, and being able to handle that. So for me, watching the game back, I definitely had these cringe moments where it's like, oh, I just want to skip ahead here. I know I give the ball away. I know I give that foul away, whatever may happen. But it's actually those moments where you lift up the rock, and yeah, sure, you probably hate what you see at first, but until you lift it up, it's just going to continue to repeat and come back over and over again. So lift up the rock and treat these outcomes as data. The second way to be more effective with watching your film is to have specific takeaways. Now, if you are one of the few guys that already takes notes on his games, and maybe you have a little notepad or you're writing it down in a notebook, what does the end of it look like? For me, I know I was guilty of taking notes, and then at the end, I was like, for next game, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And I would have 5 to 10 things that I was trying to remember and implement, but that just doesn't work. And one of the biggest things that I do with the guys that I work with is make sure that we're clear on specific takeaways. Ideally, this is just one thing that you can take action on. If you have to, have 2 or 3 as well. But instead of every time I get the ball from a center back and sometimes it's bobbly, make sure I'm checking my shoulder. And if there is some guy there, then take a, that doesn't really do anything. So what you really need is, hey, be aggressive to the first ball, communicate loud, maybe check my shoulder obsessively. Simple, specific takeaways, things that you can actually repeat when you get in the game. Because unless you're some superhuman, you're not going to be able to remember a paragraph of takeaways that you think will help you, when really it's just stuff on a page that you'll forget about. And I'll tell you how most guys will never get better from their film is because they don't actually take action. So they're doing these takeaways and they're trying to improve from their film, but they're so unclear and they're not specific enough that they don't actually take action. It's 10 times harder to do something when you don't know what you're supposed to be doing. If I laid out in front of you, okay, here are the 3 things that I looked at your film that you need to focus on going to the next game, and they're 3 or 4 words each, and they're super simple, and you know exactly what they mean, you think it'd be easier to follow them? Yes, 100%. The third step to unlocking your potential through your film is to see the game from your playing perspective. And here's what I mean. There's nothing easier than clicking pause as a coach or someone watching the game back and seeing everything that's wrong with it. Like, wow, my touch should have been here. I should have knew he was there. I should have hit that long ball. What am I doing? But that doesn't really help, because that's not really what you felt during the game. When you're watching this game back, you're getting a bird's eye perspective of everything. It's like playing FIFA. You know everything that's there. So you don't have to check your shoulder. You don't have to be worried about who's there because you see everything in the film. So take yourself, teleport onto the field, back into that game moment that you're watching from, and think, what am I really looking at here? For me, I was really focused on opening my body and turning out the other way. And I would get mad at myself watching this film back. But then if I put myself in that position, it was different because I was like, well, there was a guy here and I had to move here. And I was able to unlock these certain things that I had to think about in order to be able to open my body shape by putting myself in my shoes on the field. And when you're doing this, it also helps because you can almost visualize yourself correcting these mistakes. So when you look at your film and you're like, oh, when I get in this position, I need to make sure I'm taking this touch bigger. Don't just think it from the bird's eye perspective. Play it back in your head on the field with your two eyes that are on the grass. If you do these three things right, I guarantee that you'll see a big difference in the way that you watch your film back and your development as a player. And most guys will never do these three things. They will never take action and they will never make it to the next level. If you found this helpful and you want us to work together one-on-one to analyze your training clips and your film so you can get to that college level, then click the link. It's in the description below where you can apply to work with me. And if you just want more tips on how to improve your game, then check out my Instagram. It's also in the description below. It's at Churning by Cushing.